For me? Well, I do have a birthday coming up, and I guess someone must have left me an early present. Well, I wonder what it could be. Meow. I hope it's something good. Guess we'll find out. Coming up. Welcome. So glad you could join us. I'm going to sit this down for a few moments, and we'll get to that later. But first, the Word. We're back in James today, still in the first chapter, and we're reading the first part of the 17th verse that says, "Every good and perfect gift is from above." So that's so short, you could say that. That could be a mantra. You could just say it all throughout your day. In fact, say it right now with me. Every good and perfect gift is from above. Let's say it again. Every good and perfect gift is from above. See, it's so simple. And that just could be something you could say throughout your day. Every good and perfect gift is from above. Just throughout today, as you're going through your day, just let that verse come back to you again and again. Every good and perfect gift is from above. Whatever you do, even if it's a bad time, bad day, great day, look for the good things and just be thankful for them. And just keep saying it till you get that in your spirit. Every good and perfect gift is from above. So, what we want to do, you want to keep saying that and getting that in your spirit, so you can get that mind of thankfulness. Have a mind of thankfulness. And what that is that we want to begin to focus on the good things, on the blessings, on what God has blessed us with, and just be thankful for that. Something happens when you get in that mindset, being thankful, over and just on and on being in that mindset, that you begin to see the more of the good things that are around you. It's amazing. If you focus only on the negative, then that's what you'll see. You'll see negative everywhere. The bad. Everything's bad. If you begin to focus on the good, then you'll begin to see the good. And you'll begin to see that everywhere. So there's bad and good everywhere in the world. But what you see is what you focus on. It's like the more you focus on the blessings God has blessed you with, then the more blessings you release. I like to think of it like a grateful child. If you had a child who was grateful for what they got, wouldn't you want to give them more? Wouldn't you want to bless them more? If they were always pleasant and saying thank you and so happy with everything that you gave them, then you'd be really excited to give them more. But if they were spoiled and they didn't say thank you, and you gave them a gift, or you gave them something nice, or even something that you thought was nice that might not have been that nice, and instead they just turned up their nose and ran the other way, does that make you want to give them more gifts? No, right? So it's a mindset to be thankful and to be grateful and to recognize that every good and perfect gift is from above. It comes from God. It's like there are two lists, a nice list and a naughty list, right? A list of cursings and a list of blessings, so to speak. The list of things lost or missing, or the hardships and the hard times, and a list of what God has done, given, and brought you through. So which list are you going to focus on? Which list are you going to keep reciting and looking at and making your reality? So we're going to go through and read this small little passage. We're going up to the first chapter of James at 16 and reading through 18 today. And it says, "Don't be deceived, my dear brothers. Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows. He chose to give us birth through the word of truth, like we might be a kind of first fruits of all He created." Okay? It's a great verse, right? So we're going to take a little bit closer look at that. It says, "Don't be deceived, my dear brothers. Every good and perfect gift is from above." So this is where we want to have our mind of thankfulness. coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights, who does not change. Does not change. He's forever the same. Yesterday, today, tomorrow. God never changes. Like shifting shadows, He chose to give us birth through the word of truth that we might be a kind of first fruits for all He created. A kind of first fruits. It's kind of an interesting way of looking at that. Like we're His pride and joy, that He looks at us like His first fruits. So God's given you every single good thing in your life. So we want to give Him thanks. Even if you didn't know it until now, now you do. All good things come from God, come from above. Even if you had to work for it, which I'm reminded of the Israelites were promised the promised land, right? They were given it. But yet they still had to go in and take it. It was given to them. It was theirs already. But they still had to do the work. They still had to fight the battle. They still had to go and claim it and take it back as their own, even though God had already said, it's yours. So even if you have to work towards something, it's still something that God has given you. He's given you the resources, the ideas, the creativity, and He's created you to do that thing, whatever it is. And you were able to accomplish it. Or maybe you're working towards something right now, or you have a dream or something that you want to do, and you're not sure if you can do it. Well, the only question is to pray and see, is it something that God would have you to do? And then if you feel like, yes, that is something that is good, and it's something that God would have you to do, and something worthy of your time, then go for it, and know that if God has said that it is yours, that it will be yours, and it is yours already. Just like all of the good gifts that you've had already. Every good and perfect gift comes from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights, who does not change like the shifting shadows. Just like the sun, the source of all light, it can never be in the shadow. It can never be in the shadow because it is the source of light. And just like God can never be in the shadow, He's the source of light. There is no darkness found in God. No sin. So to turn towards Him is to turn from sin. And likewise, to turn towards sin, the darkness, the shadows, death, is to turn away from God. So I want to read this passage in the Message Bible really quick. So my very dear friends, don't get thrown off course. Every desirable and beneficial gift comes out of heaven. The gifts are rivers of light cascading down from the Father of light. There is nothing deceitful in God, nothing two-faced, nothing fickle. He brought us to life using the true word, showing us off as the crown of all His creation. He is a proud Father. He's proud of us, proud of you. Even though we've sinned, we've made mistakes, doesn't mean He's proud of that part. I have a granddaughter that I've mentioned before. I can be proud of her, or just like my children, proud of their accomplishments. It doesn't mean I have to be proud of mistakes, but I take it all together. And even if my granddaughter was to look at me and say something mean, or if I had to ask her not to do something and she did it anyway, it doesn't mean I stopped loving her. It doesn't mean I am not I'm not proud of her anymore. I still hold her in high regard. She still is my pride and joy, just like we are God's pride and joy. In summary, the hard things of life should produce joy in us. We should be joyful. Just like we learned last time, with the verse that said, "Consider it pure joy whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. And perseverance must finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." It's this finding joy and considering it pure joy when we go through these trials, temptation, all of these tribulations. It's this that develops a deeper trust in God. And then it went on to say that we should seek wisdom from God and not the world. That's a hard one. It's easy to look to the world for wisdom, but where do you want to really look to for wisdom? And if we ask God for it, for wisdom, He will give it to us. But don't be double-minded. If you ask God for wisdom, expect and accept that you're going to get wisdom. It won't happen all at once. It won't happen overnight. It will take time. But God will bring that about. He will give that to you. You know, the Word says that we can have the desires of our heart. But if we put God first, and when we put God first, then the desires of our heart are the things that He would want to give us anyway. So you can ask and accept. You can not be double-minded. You can believe that God will deliver and will deliver you, will give you what you need, and you can continue to be joyful in your trials and tribulations and temptation, and continue to be thankful and grateful for all His many blessings that He's given us already. And if you will just focus on those blessings and stop focusing on all the things that didn't go right, all the things you didn't get, where do you put your focus? That's what makes a big difference. We don't blame Him for the temptation or the desire to sin, because that comes from us. What we focus on, what we look to and we desire in the things of this world, or if we look to God and we desire to be closer to Him and desire those things, and then that's when He can truly give us the desires of our heart. But we credit Him for every good thing in our lives. So I hope that was good. I hope you got something out of that. And now, but you thought I forgot, but let's see what's in my gift. Oh, socks. I love them. Just what I needed. Thank you. I'm so thankful. Oh, and something else. Toilet paper. So, let's leave you with the thought of the day. What you do with what you have is more important than what you have. And what you do with what you get is more important than what you get. So, with that, stay blessed.